Today I'm going to show you how you can take this and this and even this and incorporate it into your journal in a weekly or monthly spread. So let's get started with the November flip. So when we left off last, this was the last page that we looked at, and this was the first couple days of November. And since we last saw this, I added just a couple of things. I did some doodling, the Cubs one, so I added a little flip up there with noting that. And that's pretty much it. The first full week in November is here. And mostly I did a lot of just different kind of writing. You can see here and right in here. Just did a lot of flowy kind of things. For whatever reason, it just seemed like something I wanted to do. I changed the direction of my writing as well. I have a flip up here. And I think that's pretty much it on this page, other than just normal graphics that you've seen me do before. So there's that. And then on this page, a couple things I want to point out. This page was all about Tisha Moore. I am such a huge fan of hers and have been for a long, long time. And I just wanted to do an ode to Tisha. And so this whole section right in here is all about Tisha Moore. And so there's that. You remember the Paper Source flowers that I had used before. They're here. And this was the brightest moon that we had, that big moon. And I just happened to find this image and thought it was perfect for that. And then right here is another thing I wanted to show you. I made these tapes on my jelly plate. And you pull a print. It's just packing tape. And it can be, I put it on to text paper so I'd have something, so it would stick to that and it would be easier to just store. But I really like these. I think they're really neat. It was a ton of fun to do. And I'm going to put a link in the description box. If you have a jelly plate and you haven't tried this, you might want to. So I'll leave that in the description box. So I put that right in here. I just thought it would work really great. And then one of the images that I showed you at the opening of this video is right here. It's that XOXO. And that just worked out great. I love that. And then I have a flip up here of, you guys know Mozzie. And that's pretty much it on this page. Then we move to Thanksgiving week. And the image that I showed you in the beginning is here. I just cut that out. I wanted something kind of that color to go with him. This came from Trader Joe's newsletter, and I cut that out. Did a lot of writing. This was an artist that is featured in Oregon, where I live, and I love his work. So I put him in there. And another flip. This was from some shoes. I just tied it under, or just put it right under there. And then here's the last week in November. And let's see, what do I need to show you here? I got some Happy Mail from my friend Patty. And she had done some drawings. This is one of her stickers, and this is one of her stickers, which I just love. And so I wanted to incorporate those. This is now the first week in December, first couple days. And I think that pretty much hits all the highlights for the month. I do have two other things I want to show you. So I just tied this on. I just punched a little hole and put a grommet in, or a eyelet in there. And just, I love that little guy. And, you know, I've told you I keep everything. And look how small that is. But it's effective when you have it on something like a tag. So I put that on there, and then the reminder of my haircut. So I like that. And the other thing I wanted to show you was this at the opening, this picture. is right here. So I just cut it out and I just used it as a background. And that's one thing I really like to do when I find unusual pictures. And you remember when I was showing you the images and I had that buffalo that I said I was going to cut out, or it was a bull, I guess it was. He's in this month's journal, so you'll get to see him when I do December. Okay, let's see. I think that's it. Let's move on to tips and tricks. So in my last video, I was talking about images and how to find them. And I am going to do a video showing you how I store them. But one thing I wanted to show you is how I store my phrases and or alphabets. So I just keep them in a binder. And I have these pockets that I got, oh gosh, like at Office Depot. And I'll come back to those. But this is how I store my letters. So these are just baseball card or business card pockets, whatever you can find. Even pocket letter size would work. And I just store all of my, whenever I find alphas that I like, I just put them in here, and just one side. I don't try and put them on both sides, obviously. And then when I need letters, that's all I have to do is just go to this binder, and I can find them. And it's worked out pretty well. I like it. And then I have a couple phrases also that I keep back here. But for the most part, when I do phrases, all of what I have are really big ones. I keep them just like this. I like kind of digging through and finding exactly what I want. So this is where I keep these. So these are my bigger ones or longer ones that I go through. And then I have another ones with, these are a little smaller. They're more like 2 or 3 words kind of thing. So again, I just like to go through them. It really is not hard to go through them this way and just look and find what you might want. And then on this one, these are small ones, and I keep them in an envelope. And this might be a little bit harder and messy, but it doesn't bother me. And I just go right through those to decide what I want when I want to incorporate them in my journal. So that's one tip I wanted to give you. The other one is this. If you use something a lot in your journal, make a template. It seems really obvious. It took me a long time to just decide, oh my gosh, I should just make a template so I always have it. I like to use these, and I have them in different sizes. And these I usually put on the side of a page, and you can use them as a tuck spot. I do those a lot in my junk journals. So I made some patterns so that I have those that I can use to just trace them out. And hearts are another big one that I use. And so these are all different shapes of hearts and and sizes. So, some are really skinny and long and some are fat and wide. And I actually have a lot more hearts. But I use these a lot in my journal. So that's another thing. You can just keep those close at hand so you can just trace out a template, and it'll be ready for you when you're ready for it. So that's it for tips and tricks. I will be filming a video on storage of images. That'll be coming up next. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.